shamefully. I didn't really know anything about Community Land Trust. I'd never heard of it. But my friend knew that I was really badly housed before, so he let me know about this scheme. He works at the Central School for Girls across the road, and told me about it. I got in touch, became a member, went through the process, and here I am on my lovely balcony. I think without I know, without their involvement and without their help and without this scheme, I would basically still be living in the horrible flat that I was living in before, with no opportunity to buy as a single guy, with non-rich parents. Before my friend told me about this place, I was renting a flat in Shadwell, and with quite a famous, or I would say infamous, landlord. It was horrendous. I think my living room was literally as big as this balcony. It leaked. Like in winter, I lived there I think for about 6 years, and every time it rained, the water just poured into the living room, so I had to wear shoes in the living room. So absolutely hated it, and actually I was thinking about moving out of London. Having lived in London now for 20 years, I'm not from London, but I've lived here as long as I lived in Yorkshire, and I do consider it to be sort of more home than Yorkshire is. The idea of having to kind of move outside, away from my job, away from my community, away from my friends, was really depressing. It wasn't doing my mental health any good where I was living. It was, yeah, because I've got like neurological, I've got ADHD, I've got OCD, the place was driving me crazy. So yeah, if it wasn't, I think if I hadn't moved, I would just have been quite depressed. Stayed where I was in a flat that I absolutely hated, you know, and my job is quite stressful. So to be able to have to go home to somewhere that you don't feel relaxed or comfortable meant that there was no real downtime. 15 years ago, I was a student in the psychiatric hospital, so I used to smoke down there. So to kind of like, when I knew it was being developed, and I could see as I passed it that it was being developed, I was like, my God, it would just be fantastic to be able to live there. And I never actually thought that that would turn out to be possible. When I come back, if there's anybody from CLT, generally, if I've met them, we will stand and have a chat for 10, 15 minutes. That's something that I've not experienced. I think it's something that's quite rare in London. So it is, I think that it's a weird thing, because I think you might think that once you were successful in getting the place, you then disconnect. And I feel like I can knock on quite a few people's doors, ask them for whatever. When I go on holiday, I'm going to ask a neighbour to water my plants, happy to give them the key, all that, you know, and it's where I've lived before, I've not experienced that. So I think it is successful in A, securing house people that wouldn't otherwise have them, but also building a sense of a community, which feels nice to be a part of.